Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Fuego.
Marcia Fuego here.
Here to talk about...
Castle Rock.
Yeah.
That's the one.
The 10th and final episode, the season finale
Thank
of
God.
Castle Rock.
It's over.
Thank God. Oh my God. So we're going to talk about this, like we always do our reviews, the overall thoughts, the story, the acting, the effects, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff.
I am bored by this series. I remained bored, and it did not... 7 was the only episode that was really kind of interesting and kind of innovative.
I like
Everything
9.
else... 9 was okay, but that
9.
wasn't innovative. So I was deeply let down by this series, and the end did not, come out, with a cool special thing that was like, oh my God, it's suddenly all worth it. Not at all. Not at all. I was not a fan.
And it's funny because everyone was saying they're like, oh, they're gonna, tie everything up in a little box with a bow for us and explain everything. No, they didn't really explain anything.
I told you that was gonna happen to J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Please.
All right. Well, who's next? Marcia? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna let Jaime go. I'll go last.
Okay. I'm gonna rage for the sheer fact that this show presented a lot of half-baked ideas, as we discussed previously, and there was such an immense amount of speculation about, okay, is the kid Randall Flagg? Is the kid Bob Gray? Is the kid all these different characters? And I had, Vince Rush, tweeting me and various other people, and he's like, I have all these great theories, and I'm like, honestly, I don't think anybody's theories are correct. I think it's not going to be Pangborn really is probably going to be the only character from pre-existing material, and sure enough, that was the case, except for all those little Easter egg, little winky things, and stuff like that. I don't know, it was not a satisfying series. In fact, really looking for the little in-references was one of the only consistently interesting things about this show, and I felt like they focused more so upon that than crafting a good narrative with compelling performances that had a cohesiveness to all of it. It was really just more about the, did you catch that? You get that? So... without spoiling the story, unless we're going to go into the story on this final episode,
we will after we get Marcia's overall thoughts.
Yeah, it was madly disappointing, and I can't believe they're doing a second season, but, enough people watched, I guess. All right.
Mash Pag!
So are we just doing overall thoughts?
Just overall thoughts right now.
Of the series? Or of this episode?
I guess a little bit of both, yeah.
Okay. So, because I feel, So overall, I didn't think it was terrible. I can see where it'd be boring for some and disappointing for others. I certainly didn't have high expectations because you didn't know what you were getting into when they first did this. You could only hope they were going to do something. I feel like it wasn't a complete story, and that ending was stupid, and that I liked, the only part I liked was when the jailer shot everybody and killed everybody. I thought that was a cool reveal. I liked the multi-universe, even though I thought it was a cop-out, and
I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's the only explanation for something as dumb as The Mist or this show. It's multiverse.
It was like,
Castle Rock.
wait a second, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to smoke monster it. Told you in the beginning. Rewind to episode 1 when I told you smoke monster. Okay, I was right. So I feel good about the show because it made me right.
You feel good about how bad the show was?
Because I was so right about it.
Marcia, I feel so right.
It took a really terrible 10-episode show for you to be right.
I know.
I don't know what to say about that.
No, and me and Lily suffering through every episode too, man.
The only thing
that was our ritualistic date night every week.
The only thing that
ritualistic seppuku. You're like, okay, we're gonna watch this episode.
The worst part for me was Sissy SpaceX. I'm sorry, because I couldn't hear her. I couldn't understand what she was saying.
I actually liked her in episode 10. I actually, that was one of the moments that I liked when Molly
what did she say?
Molly went up to her and was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm on the bridge. She's like, it always happens this way. And then I go back, and she's like, I'm gonna go see Alan. And she's like, Alan's dead. And she's like, well, right now, yeah. I just like, but in a second he'll be alive again. And then I actually really liked that scene. I liked that scene a lot. And but then I liked when she said something, and she's like, oh, it's the first time you've said that.
Right.
I dug that. That was the one good scene in episode 10.
That was the only thing that really made me think that I might have been right about her, where they were using her dementia as actually her she is going through space and time, and that was like a part of her dementia. And I was like, if that is what they were trying to do, that is a really creative way of looking at dementia. Like her being able to go through the different dimensions and stuff like that. Whether that was actually what they were trying to accomplish or not, I have no idea, because I couldn't really understand what she was saying, except for, bits and pieces here.
I don't even know if the writers' room ever knew what they were really trying to accomplish.
No, I never expected them to be a full thought out concept, because they were trying to do too much for such a short span. So it's like there's too many things you're weaving and not enough time to complete them, especially since this is supposed to be an anthology series. You only have 10 episodes, but you have like 20 different strings. Like, something's not going to pan out.
Well, the problem is when you keep introducing new strings in the first few episodes, as long as you back off on the introduction of new ones and start really stringing them together and making it all weave and make sense, then you're fine. But they kept introducing new aspect after new aspect after new aspect, and some of them they came back to. Like in this episode, we finally came back to the old, black guy in the woods who, was doing the sensory deprivation stuff and who knew Henry Deaver, and, that the Black Henry Deaver that we know from this particular Castle Rock reality, and all of that stuff. And we get some more flavor with the Culkin kid, but if we're just going to jump into story, it really boils down to, both Deavers from their different respective realities, the kid and the one that we followed for the predominance of the series, getting thrown into incarceration because, one is pinned for all the nastiness that went down at Juniper Hill, and that's because the kid says that everything negative follows him because he is out of place in this reality. He's not supposed to be there. It's almost like in Back to the Future, where you're not supposed to see, yourself in that old reality because, that could alter the space commerce. So, and yet they're hanging out, so it's a little weird, but so, and then current Henry Deaver gets pinned for the murder, presumably, and they never answer who killed the black guy in the woods, the older dude who, was hearing or voice impaired or whatever it was. But, and then there's a prison riot because all these people from Shawshank that just got shut down are thrown into, this small little area in the local jail, and more stuff with the kid trying to escape. He's trying to get back to his Castle Rock, and you think Deaver of that Castle Rock is going to help him, and it doesn't quite work out that way.
Nope.
Well, really, not much else happens in the episode beyond
So what
that.
did you think of how the story of both the episode and the season wrapped up?
The very ending? If we're going to go to the very
ending? I mean,
ending?
not the very ending, but just overall thoughts of the story of both season, of both episode 10 and of the season 1 overall.
Like, how do you like the way they ended
how did you think the story ended up?
Major disappointment. Once again, lots of smoke and mirrors, lots of unanswered questions.
Typical JJ.
Yeah, but I did like the aspect of the multiverse. Granted, it's a cop-out, like Marcia said, but in the King, essence of things, it makes sense. And for me, a certain character turn at the very, very end, while it pissed me off, it made sense and it felt cathartic to me. And after hating the entire episode, when they got to that as the ending, I'm like, you know what? It almost makes sense in the darkness of this weird alternate reality.
I think you got a burger. Marcia, your thoughts on the story?
Merry Christmas!
I thought the ending was stupid. It didn't make sense. Okay,
well, there's no resolution.
No,
there's
show
no
never made sense.
There's no
so
satisfying.
No,
they could have let him go home, but no.
I know. Like, come on.
So,
Black Henry Deaver, you're
knocking you over,
you're ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. There's no motivation for him to do anything other than help White Henry. Because, number one, White Henry got his ass out of the other time frame. And how do you forget 15 years of being locked in a cage? And then he's all like, oh, you got me out. I got through. I'm back in my own time. But I'm not going to help you. I'm going to put you back in a cage because that makes sense. Doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the thing. As soon as he saw him in the cage, he should have recognized him from his trip across the pond or across the universe. Right?
Henry did explain
remember
that
how they met?
it takes time for you to put those pieces together.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
if not for
he
that justification,
did.
I would have been mad. And when they brought that
Yeah,
up,
that
he
one
was like,
line of dialogue that
Yeah, he was
excuses
like-
this huge plot hole.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't remember everything at first, but it starts to come back to you over
Right.
time.
And when he
Yes.
got to the cliff, that's when he started to remember everything. So he should have been like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
bro, let's go." You know, there's your hole. Just go through it. You know, see you later. But no, I'm gonna put you back in. It doesn't make sense.
Why
we don't
Henry,
always have
who
to
has been
understand
exposed?
character
Well, no,
motivation,
listen.
though. I mean,
I don't know what I got. Black Henry,
They're
Dark
like,
Henry.
they
What do I call
yeah,
him?
well,
I say
The
Black
Henry,
Henry.
the
I mean,
Black Henry.
I mean, we
Okay,
can say
so
the kid and then
the
you
kid
know,
and Henry. Okay, so
yeah.
we'll call him Henry. So Henry has had this whole season's worth of experiences that are out there and different, and he's hearing weird shit. But suddenly he's not willing to walk this kid to the portal, the kid to the portal to see if he disappears. If he disappears, oh my god, all of it's real. I'm not crazy. Great. But no, he's just going to suddenly decide to cage him again? Like, I don't... And these are spoilers for episode 10, guys, but whatever. Like, why? It doesn't make a difference. The character motivation doesn't make sense. The story didn't go to a place that made sense to me.
And then
Why would
why
he have chosen that?
Why did White Henry just
Can
be
one
okay
of you
with
guys
it?
explain
No.
that?
As I said, I don't think
Unless you
you
didn't
always
wanna
have to
deal with
understand
it.
character motivation. Sometimes people do fucked up stuff that we just can't wrap our heads around in this world.
Or maybe it's because the Finney like creates this crazy, makes you be this person that you're not supposed to be, and then that's why, like it did Lacey and everybody else. So now it's his turn to put somebody in the cage.
You're actually really raising an interesting point that I'm thinking of right now, though. So you know how the kid was like, you know, negativity follows me, and you know, I have these bad forces that kind of pop from me because I'm, you know, not supposed to be in this world. But
Which
maybe
I think
the counterbalance
proves
of
me
him,
right from a previous episode, but go ahead.
really. But I mean, with him and Deaver, maybe both not supposed to exist on the same plane. Maybe it goes both ways, and so maybe, you know, our Black Deaver from this particular Castle Rock, he's prone to the messed up things too, or they manifest based on his energy
Or do you
because
think-
they're canceling each other out, or because it's like two negatives in the same.
Or do you
What
think
I was
it was
referring
like?
to, though,
Do you think he went back? He was gonna get pulled back into the Finney because the other Henry got pulled when he got pulled.
Well, with Finney's, it depends on how close you're standing, really. to
Well,
get
what I
forward,
was
but-
going to say is, though, I said in an earlier episode when he was on the roof, and I posited that it was the family inside the house that he was driving crazy, and we were just hearing it. It wasn't a memory. It wasn't anything like that. It
Which
was
is what I
literally that.
thought. Yeah.
It was him standing on the roof and the family inside the home. We just got to hear the craziness emanate, and that was backed up by what happened in episode 10 when he's like, just, you know, basically he looked at Henry, he's like, just watch. And like, and all of a sudden, like, they turned on each other and there was all the shots, and so that was a
Now
live
I'm
family.
thinking-
It was not a memory like
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
people said.
And now I'm
I
thinking.
never thought it was a
even-
memory.
And now
I
I'm
never
thinking
thought it was a
even
memory.
deeper than what I just said. So if he can just affect everybody around him, maybe he affected that Deaver as opposed to, you know, I mean, I was thinking, oh, they're both Henry Deaver, so maybe negativity follows both of them, but maybe the kid affected Black Deaver to do that negative thing to him and keep him, like, still
You
chewing
do
down
realize
there,
that Black
you know?
Deaver and White Deaver are not the same person, right?
They're the same person.
They're
in
the same
alternate
person, just
reality.
No, because
different
They're
races.
both, they're both Henry Deaver in their respective
No.
realities.
Did you
yeah.
miss the whole fact that in Black Henry Deaver's time frame, White Henry Deaver died as a baby?
Oh, I did miss that. So
You-
there was a
that's-
White Deaver.
That's why
in
there
our-
was the grave that says Baby Deaver, and that's when he was adopted, and they named him Henry.
Oh, look at you.
That's why he's black.
That's why he's black.
Okay, well,
The other one's in a grave.
I caught that.
Gotcha.
I caught
Yeah.
that part, but there's still Henry Deaver in their respective castle.
They-
But
I
no,
mean,
no,
their
but that
names
does
are
make
the
sense.
same, but they're
instead
they
of
are
naming the
different
baby
people.
Henry, they named their adopted. Did they adopt him?
He was
they
adopted.
So yeah, so they named him Henry instead
Yeah.
and carried the legacy
So
from
they're
there.
not the same person. They just have the same name.
Well, they're the same equivalent.
So
their
in the
dynamics
other
in
universe,
each
does
of
that
the
mean that Black
universes.
Henry Deaver never got adopted
Yeah,
and he
it's
just
pretty
remained
sad.
a part of the system?
Yeah.
Jeez, Marcia.
Probably
Yeah,
ended up with
how dare you.
Shawshank.
Well, that's
Oh,
interesting. Yeah.
They should have.
Whoa,
They should,
whoa,
oh
whoa.
shit!
That's not
Wow,
necessary.
Marcia.
That
You're
was
fired.
rude.
Get out.
That was rude.
Get out. I can't take that sort of thing on our channel.
Oh, man.
No, but that does leave the question: where is? I hate that. Where is Henry from this universe? I'm not going to say where's Black Henry in the other. I can't do that. Although John Henry Irons in the Superman comics is black and stuff, so it's not like.
On another note,
he was never adopted, and he was no one of consequence. Basically, for the record, I think that
it's just there's a lot of convenient
based on
writing,
their
is what I'm
family
saying.
dynamic, where they live, everything. They are different divers in their respective universes, okay?
Right.
Which is
But
why
I
they're
did not
tied
pick up
together.
on the fact that there was a
dead baby.
Dever
Yeah.
in our regular universe.
Yeah.
when did we see that?
That's when he went to the
couple times he
hill.
went to the
When he went
cemetery?
when he went to the hill at the end before he got arrested, they showed baby Dever.
Okay.
And then it's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense because you
so
know,
they just so they
They're
did
both Henry
what
Dever.
everyone
One is
encourages you to
biological
do
Dever, and
is
one is
immediately
adopted
replace
Dever.
a dead person with an adopted version of it.
I
Right.
guess some people are
Okay,
doing that.
gotcha. That is a tremendous.
Well, we don't know why they died. I mean, maybe she can't bear children. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who likes,
in that universe?
Who likes my suggestion that the negativity that follows the kid is what inadvertently caused that reality's Henry Dever to lock the kid up as
I
opposed
think it's
to
the
letting
Finney.
him go back?
I think it was just the Finney.
You think so?
Yeah, I think. It was
No. Oh
But
wait.
he's
So you're
still-
saying the reason Black Henry locked up White Henry is because of White Henry's evil emanating powers?
That's what I'm speculating because
But they
the
didn't touch.
Okay,
God,
okay.
that's,
if
no,
he's
but
able
that's
to-
kind of cool in
if
a
he's
sense
able to
that
pass it along
it's
for
a really
people to-
evil mini circle
Yeah,
that he
and-
can't get out of because he knows he should help him, but that Henry's proponent to make me say I don't trust it is going to make me keep him in a cage rather than let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of get that.
And that's
I
me
kinda
saying
get
that he isn't deliberate or cognizant of the negativity that he's spreading. It just follows him. So he's not like the
I don't
mastermind
think that's
behind
so.
the Juniper Hill killing. You know, he's not the mastermind behind Homie going and shooting everything. It's just this presence that follows him. And so, it ends up catching up to him, and the presence that's followed him as he's right at the gates of escape, it ends up turning on him. It's like, nope, I want to keep mucking stuff up by you being in this alternate reality. And if you go back to your timeline, I'm not going to be able to continue to do that. So if I keep you subdued down in this
there's
cage,
not a-
I
there's
can
not a
continue
thing-
having that presence.
No, I don't believe you because
don't
it's
believe you.
not.
You
I
don't
don't
have
believe
to.
you.
That's
no,
my theory.
because it's not this evil presence that's following him around.
That's what
Chaos-
he said in episode 10.
No, chaos is happening because he doesn't belong there.
Okay,
That's
and it
what
follows,
that's
and
what I
it
got out of
follows
it, too.
him
But
because
it's-
he's not
nothing's-
supposed to be there.
Yeah, because he's not
Following
supposed to be
him,
there.
it's just he's
I think it's a
calling-
combination
Well,
of
no,
both.
I
He's
think
calling
you guys
it
are
this-
both saying the same thing, just in different ways.
Well, you're thinking it's like there's an entity that's preventing
No,
things
it's
to happen.
a presence more so. It's
That's
like
an entity.
energy.
You're calling it the same thing.
No, I'm just saying like him
It's this
himself.
bubble that surrounds him.
Yeah, it's a bubble of negative
Him
energy.
himself is causing a disruption and chaos because he's not supposed to be there. The same way that
chaos
Henry.
theory.
yes, it's a chaos. Life will find a way.
All right,
Except
guys.
in Fallen Kingdom.
No better way to end this than an Ian Malcolm quote. So,
How about that post credits though? with
Oh yeah,
Jackie
please hit on that
Torrance?
because I didn't actually stay through the credits. I didn't see this, so please, what
I
happened?
didn't miss anything.
It's really it's just another little nod Easter egg.
Was she
whatever.
at a desk like?
No,
No,
She's
yeah,
at the
she
bar.
was sitting there with a typewriter in the bar that you see a few times in Castle Rock,
God.
smoking a cigarette, having a drink, and she's
Oh,
typing
working
and
no
she's
play
writing a
makes Jackie
story.
a dull boy.
It was essentially pretty much that, and then she's like, "I think I need to go to where it all started and get some more research," implying she's going to go back to the
Oh,
Overlook.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna follow her in season 2, going to the Overlook, and we're gonna see some shit.
No, I don't think so. I think her character's done.
But
No,
why
because
not
it's an
though? Why not go to the
Because it's all
Overlook? No,
supposed to
the
take place in
Overlook is a
Castle-
great.
It's called Castle Rock, though.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's an
God
anthology,
damn it,
so
son
the
of a
next
bitch.
series is gonna have nothing to do with any of the.
Although then the writers just went on record to say a couple days ago that there may be some characters that cross over in minor roles, and I'm like, really?
Characters
Yeah, they're
from
gonna
what?
see him like walk
this
across the
season.
street. Like,
So as opposed to being a completely new season with new characters and everything, like they proclaimed across the mountains of the bay. Hulu, you done up,
All right,
son.
whatever.
Anyway,
Well.
yeah.
All right. Well, I
It's
think
over.
that's gonna do it for our.
wait. So, are you gonna watch it next season?
We have
Yeah.
to.
All right.
It's for the
They
channel.
did their job.
For the
Anyways,
channel. For the channel more than anything else. I will say it's for the channel and to support Mark Bernardin more than anything else.
Provided they retain him.
Provided they do retain him for season 2. Oh.
All of us are just
such a bummer, man. We're such big King fans. All we want is good representations of his material, and
this isn't his
material.
Just keep.
It's inspired by him. That should be all the easier to make good because you're not contained with his own framework that often goes off the rails at the end.
Have you ever heard the phrase "based on a true story"?
Yeah, and it's never you can't believe it. Yeah,
right.
no.
It's never right.
Honestly, for me,
they use it to get you. They slide it
I think of playing in the same Stephen King sandbox as the equivalent of all the direct-to-videos we got with Return to Salem's Lot, and sometimes they come back again, and Firestarter 2, and all the Children of the Corn sequels. And
all the children.
That's basically where people are given the right to take Stephen King characters and do as they will with them.
But these aren't Stephen King characters.
Castle Rock is a character in itself. It's a setting. It's his most iconic. It's his most iconic spot. I mean, basically, children.
It is not the most iconic spot. I figured Derry made it.
Maybe now with how hard.
What do you mean now? It was always Derry. Every fucking thing.
How many stories have been said in Castle Rock? How many stories have been said in Derry?
Dude, the Night Flyer references Derry. It's like he flew in from Derry. Yeah, well, okay, well, listen.
There were way more stories said in Castle Rock.
Hey, keep your Hail to Stephen King shit on your fucking episodes, all right? We're
Derry people here, motherfucker.
I prefer Derry.
Derry all the way, son.
Yo.
What? Why am I not wearing my Derry shirt?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a Derry shirt?
I do.
It does. She's
God damn it, I want one.
one.
All right, guys.
Well, I think we need to call it there before we have Derry versus Castle Rock.
Yeah, we're going to have a throwdown.
You know I'll win.
All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of the season of Castle Rock. Here's what's interesting. We're getting comments. We're getting comments all across the map.
Yeah.
Like, some people are like, I really love the show. I don't know. I can't believe you guys don't like it. And then there's some people who are like, yeah, I'm not that into it. And there's some people who are like, I was into it at first, and then it faded away, and then I started off not liking it, and then I liked it.
It's kind of like the way
over the map.
It's kind of like the way people feel about this new Predator movie.
Oh, don't
Jesus
even.
Christ. That is getting unnecessarily ripped to pieces. But all right,
I haven't watched it yet.
Here we go. All right, guys, we're going to call it there. Thanks very much for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel. If you want to support it that little bit extra, click the link in the description box down below for our Patreon. We, this week, as we record this, are just going to release our review and commentary for Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which is not going to be received well. I will tell you that right now.
Don't watch it if you like The Shining.
Yeah, don't watch it if you like The Shining.
Hey.
But next week we are going to be back recording some more Patreon stuff because we have to. So we will be doing that. We need to.
Because we want to.
Too.
Are we doing Scream finally?
No,
Ooh.
I won't be here.
Okay, so Fuego and I'll pick up the slack, and then the following week we'll do Scream.
Yeah.
All right.
Drinking Scream.
That's fine. We have a couple things we could do. Let's do some of the 80s movies that we haven't done yet that Mikey has.
And you should dress up too. Wear that leather outfit you have. Everybody watch Jaime.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Watch Jaime and his leather outfit.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. This is the last week that our reviews of Castle Rock are going to take the place of Hail to Stephen King. Thank you very much for watching. Fuego will be back with his regular Hail to Stephen King next Tuesday. Woo! So we will be back to 2 days a week on that because I know Fuego's going to do what we talked about. So count on that coming back. And thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Fuego.
Gracias, Cazawheel. I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember,
stay scared of Season 2 of Castle Rock.
I'm in it.